Welcome back, guys. This is Heather Hope with Create Your Dream Life in 7 Days. Now, you may have noticed that the first 2 days in the audio, it's in the video only, that I had written or I have said that it's 5 days. When I created the course, I got to 5 days and I wasn't done. And I'm like, oh, so it's 7 days. Okay, welcome back. If you are just finding this video, like on my channel, this is on my YouTube channel, Conscious Creating with Heather Hope. The name may change in the future, just FYI. But we have an entire free e-course, 7-day e-course that you can check out, and it'll take you back to day one, and it'll just have you follow along for the 7 days. You can go check down into the description box and click on the link and get signed up, and it will immediately send you the first email, which is day one, and then you can follow along. So otherwise, all the videos are getting posted on my YouTube channel every day. So just for broader exposure. So welcome back. Like I said, I'm Heather Hope. I am a life and mindset coach for spiritual entrepreneurs. So that means I work with spiritual entrepreneurs with their entire life. Now, I had been a business coach for about 3 years for spiritual entrepreneurs. I've been a love coach and a life coach. So what I ended up doing this year is just saying, you know what? I just love working with spiritual entrepreneurs. I love working with entrepreneurs, but spiritual ones mostly because they understand what the heck I'm talking about, and they just get it. They have a lot faster results because of that. But I work with entrepreneurs in their business, and then it's like once we get their business really going along better, so getting some goals met, getting some manifestations done, we can easily move on to the next thing in their life that they need help with. Because as entrepreneurs, I know that we really put so much focus on our business, and so many other areas of our life kind of suffer because of that. So what I do is I help you really dial in to all areas of your life to make sure that you are really living your dream life in all aspects. Of course, my passion is business. Second passion, I would say, is love. So love and money, all of it, it's all good. So let's get started with day 3, guys. So day 3 is all about love and family relationships. So if you got your email today, perfect. If you didn't, or you're waiting for it or whatever, it's fine. I'll go through it. So we're talking about love, relationships, family. So we're creating that aspect of our life. Now, when I say we're creating your dream life in 7 days, I know it may sound like, oh, we're just going to get our dream life in 7 days. Well, part of it you might, but it's really about choosing your dream life. And once you choose it, once you get very clear with what you want, then you can very quickly shift into that reality, because you know exactly where you want to go. You know exactly the reality that you're wanting. So you're choosing your reality, and then you stay focused on that reality until it becomes your new reality. It's very simple, guys. A lot of people out there say all kinds of things, but once I really got this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much easier than all the work I've done in the past. This year is just a lot easier than all the rest of the years. So we're choosing your dream life in 7 days. But that's kind of sounds weird, right? So you remember, so I'm in my mid 40s. I don't even care. I'm 46. And I remember back in school, in elementary school, the Choose Your Own Adventure books. Tell me if you remember those, because I relate this to that so often. Because it's like you're choosing your reality. You're choosing it. You're not really creating it. If you can think it, it's already been done. I study quantum physics all the time, and as soon as you have the thought, it means it's already a a real reality that you can just tap into, that you can just choose and shift into. So anything you can think or imagine is already true. It's already a reality. So that's why Abraham Hicks and all the rest say you can be, do, or have anything you want. If you want it, it's already done. And it's just simply choosing it and stay choosing it daily until it becomes. And some things are a lot easier than others just because some things are. Some things don't take much to do, if that makes any sense. So anyway, so today we're doing love, marriage, relationship. So if you're in a relationship or marriage, there are probably areas that you'd like to improve. What is the dream marriage or relationship for you? So I want you to daydream about it and write down the characteristics that you desire to have. So you can watch like these Hallmark movies. You can watch love stories. You can read whatever it is, and you can choose how you want your relationship to be, right? You can actually choose it. So write down. So if you want somebody to, I asked my husband, so I run a singles group. I do a lot of different things to fill my time. I live in a small town currently. So when you live in a small town, you end up doing like all kinds of random things. But I run a singles group here in my town. And so one of the things that I have my group do, I'm like, introduce yourself to other people, tell us what, and it's interesting what people will say, especially men, because they will tell us of like the things that they like. And, I live in this town where a lot of people love, camping and hiking and all these outdoor things. I'm from the city, so I'm like, I don't like outdoorsy things. And I know a lot of city people do too, a lot of them. So maybe it's just me being the odd one, which is not, it's not the most, uncommon thing for me. But they will say all these things and they just seem to me like guy things. And so yesterday I was asking my husband, because I was just like, read another one and I'm like, oh my gosh, do women actually appeal to this? I know there's some women out there that like camping and hiking and all these outdoorsy things, but I know it's the town I live in. I do. No offense to anybody who likes that stuff. I just never got into it. But so I asked my husband, what would you say if you were in my group or whatever, and you needed to, say what you like? And he said, oh, I like long walks on the beach. And I always laugh because it sounds so cliche. However, it is true. He likes that. When we lived at the beach, I mean, it was mostly he had long walks on the beach with my dog, because back then I was doing my group coaching program and I needed them out of the house for like 2 hours just so I can get total, complete, silence and I could focus. So he would take Gizmo out to the beach and walk the entire beach back and forth. So I do know that he loves long walks on the beach. It just sounds so funny, right? It's so cliche. But if that's what you want, it really should be like not only your interests, when you're a single person, but what do you really want? Do you want those candlelit dinners? Do you want the poems? My husband writes me poems every couple of years. He does though. Do you want this romantic man? Now, I have known my husband for 13 years now. We're going on 13 years of knowing each other. And for the first 8 years, he was completely friend zoned and we were friends. And this man, he's all into sports. He's not playing them, but watching watching all the sports. He, drinks beer and, he's a guy's guy. Everybody loves him. Like he's very, popular kind of guy, but he's such a guy. He's just a real guy. But he, since being with me, he is just so romantic. And he's definitely the most romantic man I've been with. But it's, when you see different sides of people, it's just interesting. So do you want that romantic man? Do you want that? Like, what do you truly want? Write it down, visualize it, because you can have it. You can have whatever it is that you want. You don't have to think, well, that you have to pick this or that. You can have it all. And that, a lot of people come to me and say stuff like that of like, well, would you rather have this or that? And I'm like, it's not a choice. You can have both or you can have neither. Like whatever you want. You don't have to choose. I mean, you don't have to choose between two characteristics. You can have whatever you want. So get clear with what you want. Watch whatever you need to watch. If you have married couples in your circles or at work or wherever, and you find traits that one of the spouses has, or, the husband has or the wife has, write it down, visualize it. If you want a woman who I'm trying to think of, if you want a wife or a girlfriend or whatever it is, you don't have to be married. If you want a woman who, rubs your feet at night or whatever, gives you a neck massage after work, that's a nice thing. My husband gives me massages all the time, especially when we go to bed. He massages my back pretty much every night. But, you can have whatever you want. You can be as detailed as you want. So write down the characteristics, get clear with what you want. And it can be physical characteristics as well. It's whatever you want. This is your reality. You get to choose. You can have anything that you want. And let's move into having anything you want. Do you want to be with a specific person? Now, this is a huge topic in the law of assumption manifestation world. I love this subject, and I'm so glad that I got into it. So do you want an actual specific person? Do you want a person like an ex or somebody that you've met or somebody that, that you've been trying to get or whatever? Do you want one particular person? This is a big deal. And this pertains to anybody in any kind of relationship. You can, it's this whole, everyone is you pushed out concept. But let's get into the SP, specific person. So are you manifesting a specific person? Because you can have whatever you want. It's your reality. You're able to have anyone you want. If this is new to you, don't worry. You are choosing the timeline with you and your SP being together. Since there are infinite realities, you can just choose which one you want to focus on. And after focusing upon it, it will become yours soon. Okay, so like I said before, if you can think it or imagine it or whatever, you can have it. So if you were daydreaming about somebody that you had met or an ex that you went back or whoever it is, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Then that means there are other realities, other parallel realities with you and them together. And all you're doing is choosing that timeline. You're choosing that reality. You're choosing that in the Choose Your Own Adventure book, right? You're choosing that next adventure. You want it with this person. So get clear. If it's an SP, an actual person that you know who it is or whatever, then get clear with that. Is that the person you want to be with? Okay. So let's move on with your family. Well, let's not move on yet. So with your SP, this is very brief. This is the thing. This create your dream life in 7 days. It's a very brief synopsis, basically, of all the stuff that we do in coaching. Now, very soon, I am opening up a Manifesting It All membership. So I'm creating a membership program to help a lot of people with getting clear with this dream life and keeping on top of this dream life. So it'll be weekly coaching, it'll be hosted in a Facebook group, and it'll be Facebook Lives every week. We go over all of this stuff. You can ask your questions. We can dig deep into this stuff. So this email course is very brief because you can definitely, manifest everything you want from this course. It's just if you want additional help, which, it's just vital to keep you moving and keep you, because there's a lot of nuances to this. There's a lot of belief systems. There's a lot of things to learn. There's a lot of things to stay on top of. There's so much. I do this work just a majority of my day. I'm doing this work every single day. Okay. So, and that's going to be released very soon. It's starting in May. I just haven't, I've been so busy with this course that I haven't given many details about the membership yet. So I got to get on that like today. So, and I have a very special bonus with when we start for my founding members. So it's very low cost. It's starting at $11.11 a month for the first 100 people. And then it's going to go up a little bit. Okay. So since you're choosing your SP, the thing is you don't have to choose the SP, like you choose the SP, but you can choose how you want them to show up. So you can go back to the first, the previous section of the characteristics of what you want in a relationship. You can have those characteristics from your SP. So it's not like you're taking your SP at who they, are. It's who you want them to be. So you focus on those traits. So if it's an SP, put their name at the top of the page and list all the characteristics of your version of your SP that you want. So if in the past, if you know them, you have history with them or whatever, in the past they have done certain behaviors or different traits that you didn't like, well, you don't include that. You don't include that in your new version of your SP. You only include the characteristics that you want. Okay, let's move on to your family. So this can include your family you already have or one you'd like to have. So if you want kids or whatever it is, better relationship with your kids. As an entrepreneur, that tends to kind of happen. You kind of don't have a whole lot of time for your kids. You may feel like some, guilt there. You may be neglecting them a bit. You may not have much time for them, and that would be a great, part of like, I want more time to spend with my kids. And that would be, partially on this section and partially in the previous section with business of, I want more free time to spend with my kids, right? I want to outsource more things so I can, get my time back to have with my kids. I want to have quality time. I want to spend my weekends with them or whatever it is, right? You get clear with what you want because you know what it is that you want. You've lived your life long enough to know what you really want. You do. You have. So if you can imagine it, you can have it, as always. So if you are manifesting a brand new person, not an SP, just a brand new person, you want a new love. And that's what I did back when I was single before. After my divorce, I was single for a while and I was manifesting a whole lot of just really not great guys. Not at all. It was like worse than what I came from. And that tends to happen all the time. If you don't start, if you leave a bad relationship and then just start dating, you're probably going to attract a whole lot of just as bad or worse people than what you just left. It happens all the time, right? So what I ended up doing was after about I don't know if I want to say a year of dating, maybe it was a year. I just stopped. I stopped everything. I stopped dating. I stopped talking to everybody I was talking to. I mean, I'm friends with most of some of the guys that I was friends with before. I cut them all off. Now I'm friends with, I think, most of them right now. It's just because we've always been friends. But I stopped seeing them. I stopped dating them. I stopped all those things because it wasn't working. Nothing was working. So what I ended up doing was just kind of inherently just stopped. And I started loving myself. I know it sounds cliche, but it's absolutely the best thing you can do. Love yourself. Take care of yourself. Take yourself on dates. Buy yourself flowers. Do the things that you want to do. It's really building that self-concept that we talked about in the first session. But building that up and then when you are feeling really good about yourself and feeling good about life and feeling good about things again, you're going to attract or bring in, call in a really good person. And that's what I did. I ended up having an impulse to contact my good guy friend. His name's Roger. After 8 years of being friends, we never dated, nothing. It was completely platonic. One random night, I was like, I feel like seeing him. Like literally, I had the thought. And I messaged him and I said, hey, I want to come down and see you, because we lived like 60 miles away from each other. And he's like, okay. He's like next weekend? I'm like, no, like tomorrow. And he goes, oh, okay. Well, let me take you out to dinner. And I said, okay, cool. The next night, I came down to Phoenix and he took me out to dinner. And I was seriously adamant that I didn't want a boyfriend. I didn't want a relationship. I was just really happy with myself. And by the end of the night, we were kissing and I knew it. I knew. I never felt this way before. I knew if this continued, that I was going to fall in love with this man. And I had never thought that way with him before. And I did. And 3 years later, we got married. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be together for 5 years. So all it took was, and he's the greatest husband in the world. Like he's literally just such an amazing guy. So I manifested basically a brand new person. I wasn't in the world of manifesting an SP yet. I never even knew about it back then. And I wasn't about to manifest an X because I didn't think anything good would come from that. But now I know about manifesting an X or an SP, that you can manifest the version of them that you want. So now I understand it. So I'm all for manifesting an SP, 100%. If you want, you can have anybody you want. Just choose the version of them that you want, not the version you don't want, right? So if you're manifesting a new person, make a list of all the traits and characteristics of your dream person. This works fabulously. I've heard over and over and over success stories of people who've made their list of the person that they want. They don't know who it is, but they just make this list. And then that person just like kind of walks in their life. Just as easy as that, right? And this stuff really is easy. If you can make yourself an affirmation of manifesting is easy. Getting what I want is easy. All of this is easy. I mean, whatever you assume to be true will be true. It will be true. Your words are so powerful. You are directing your life right now with every thought and word that you're saying. So when you say these things are easy, so in our membership, if anybody says anything is hard, I'm going to yell at them. Just a tiny little bit of tough love. Tough love works for me when my mind goes somewhere else. And it doesn't go anywhere anymore except exactly where I want it to go. So you have to write the new story of your love and family life. And so that's the assignment for today, is when you go through all of this stuff that we just talked about, write your new story. Everything is about writing your new story, because whatever you believe to be true, whatever you are repeating over and over and over is going to be your story. So when you're repeating your past stories, it continues to be your story. So I have learned to sit and listen more than talk lately. When I'm talking to a friend, I anything when they're talking about the past of things and I could relate to them, a lot of things aren't even coming to my mind anymore. And there's stories that I just don't want to repeat anymore. I don't need to resonate with another person anymore about like, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. My life was like that too, blah, blah, blah. I grew up like that too. Like I just don't want to do that anymore because I don't want to keep creating the same life. So now I'm just like more quiet. I'm just like, oh yeah, that's cool. Or okay. Because I don't want to repeat the stories. I don't want to repeat the stories of my past that I don't want to think about anymore, because they will go away. So that is for today, guys. If you haven't signed up yet, go in the description box and click on the link, sign up. You'll get the email within a few minutes. It'll direct you through the 7 days. You can start from day one. Day one is the most important day to start on. Day one is all about self-concept and your divine God self-concept. It is powerful. This is life-changing. Life-changing. When you realize who you are, everything changes. You have massive power. You are massively powerful. And you can have everything you want. Every single thing you want. You can have it. But go to day one and listen to that video. Watch that video. There's nothing to watch, but listen to the video. Get the email. Download the worksheet. Download all the worksheets. You get one every day in the email. And fill it out. And start creating your dream life. And all it is you're choosing and you're focusing. That's all this is. Choosing and focusing. But it's literally all day long. And that's where I come in to help you stay focused all day long. Okay, guys, I'm going to take off. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with day 4. Take care. Bye.